Okay, everyone, welcome back to the Indie Basketball Podcast. This is where indie rock meets the NBA's finest. And today on the pod, we're going all in on all things New York because I have New York local musician Harrison Lipton. He's here to join me and talk about the Knicks and talk about his music and all other NBA things. So, Harrison, thanks for joining, dude.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So to start things off, for first things first, for people who haven't heard you, how would you describe your music?
I just put out a record that was really inspired by like late 70s yacht rock. So it kind of has that feel, but it's like much more sad than that. So it's like if you're really depressed on a boat, like this is the perfect music to listen to.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's cool. It's like got this like really late 70s vibe, lots of synths, lots of guitars, and then I'm singing on it like I'm Michael McDonald. So
yeah, you got some smooth R&B stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of influences. I mean, it's there's some like R&B vibes, but I mean that's what they were listening to in the 70s too, like Jackson Browne. All those guys, they're all listening to R&B, borrowing from that.
Yeah. Did you watch that yacht rock documentary?
I have not. It's a conscious choice. I'm like, I think I'll either be so inspired that I'll have to like scrap the album and re-record everything, or I'll hate it. So,
Right. I haven't watched it either, but I've been told by multiple people that it is some good stuff.
I'm sure it's amazing.
So, I've checked out your music. I think it's very, it's definitely exactly as you described. It does feel that it's kind of got that 80s flair a little bit. The you're throwing it back with the smooth vocals, and with your music, you recently were able to perform halftime at the Garden during a Knicks game, and I just want to know how that came about.
Yeah, it's like truly one of the craziest experiences of my life. Like my girlfriend saw like on the pop-up ad on Gotham Sports. When you watch the Knicks, there's this little pop-up on the bottom, and it had a talent contest called That's New York Talent. And I paid it no attention. My girlfriend, she's like, you should apply to this. And I'm like, okay, all right, whatever, sure. I applied, forgot all about it, and then I got a message from Victoria with Madison Square Garden. I'm like, this is a spam message, clearly. I don't know anyone named Victoria. But it's like, hey, this is Victoria with the Knicks, and just wondering if you were like around to like hop on a quick call. And I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. So I only had a minute and 30 seconds to perform, but it's part of this talent contest. It's 12 people, and the winner gets $50,000 plus you get to play the last game of the season for like the entire halftime show.
Oh wow! So wait, is this like a America's Got Talent where it's like it's any talent?
I thought we were going to see some like Red Panda like spinning plates kind of thing, but no. I mean, everyone's been music so far in some capacity. Okay. And so actually I just performed for a second time in the contest. So I just did like my next round, and it was I'll get to how it all ended and where we're at now, and like I'm gonna save the best for last in terms of like what that story is, but yeah, I mean it's all musicians. Everyone's extremely talented. My first round was like it was crazy because I go in through the employee entrance at the Garden, and I have the world's heaviest keyboard with me because I was singing Billy Joel's New York State of Mind because it felt fitting. You don't have to do a song about New York, but it seems highly suggested. So,
Sure.
I was like, all right, this is the song I'm picking. Again, late 70s vibes, and I had this giant keyboard, this 88 key Korg Grand Stage in white that I bought from Guitar Center just for this, to then return the next day, by the way. And and so I my friend Cody's carrying this keyboard. We're carrying it up through MSG, and I got some clothes from this brand called New York or Nowhere, and they were so sweet. They gave me a bunch of things to wear, so I was like repping them the whole time. And I put on this white jacket, and I got white suit pants. So I was like all dressed out in white.
Full yacht rock.
Full yacht rock. And as I'm getting ready and stuff, Ben Stiller walks right past me. And I just changed into my all white outfit, and he looks me up and down, just, you know, and I go, "Hey, big fan of your work." And he looks me up and down and goes, "Thanks, man." And I was like, amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened.
You got celebrity row, crazy. Like, to recognize you.
Yeah, I think what it really was is that he probably thought he knew me and was trying to be polite, and he couldn't remember who I was.
Was I in a movie with him? Was he an extra on
was that
Severance?
Is he like Seth Rogen's body double? You know,
it's so awesome though.
Yeah.
It's not only like are you getting to like perform during a Knicks game, but like you are getting that all access to be in like, you know, on the court. You're sitting front row. You're there pregame, like all that stuff. It just seems like such a surreal experience.
Absolutely amazing experience. I mean, yeah, like there was the second round that I just finished with the atrocious game where we lost to the Hawks. Maggie Rogers was there. Omar Apollo, you know, said hi, gave people a smile, and then saw Ben Stiller again.
Hey.
And he smiled and patted me on the shoulder. So are we friends? Like,
I remembered you.
Ben, I know, I think so. I mean, I was wearing the same outfit, so, you know, made it easy to remember. But
yeah,
crazy
that's
experience.
So awesome. That's amazing. And I saw you post some stuff about you're watching the warm-ups and, you know, catching a glimpse of Jordan Clarkson doing shots.
Jordan Clarkson, well, Jalen Brunson was warming up with his dad, and Rick is just chewing gum, you know, vein popping out of his forehead, just, you know, chewing gum and passing Jalen the ball. Jalen's just stone cold, just knocking down shot after shot. And he's warming up, and then I'm sitting, you know, in the second row, and I'm warming up because I'm doing my, like, you know, my little vocal warm-ups and stuff. So it was cool to have that experience. And the actual performance was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life.
Sure. Because you're in front of what? How many tens of thousands of people?
Yeah, 19,000. I mean, look, they're all getting, you know, their pizza and their Mike's Hot Honey Fried Chicken Sandwich, and
right.
You know, they're all like, not everyone is paying attention, but you still feel the pressure. Yeah, exactly. You feel the pressure. I mean, you feel the eyes on you. There's like a metaphysical, almost like base animal brain thing where if you feel like, you know, 19,000 pairs of eyes on you, like you feel this tickle in like the back of your skull. It's crazy. And what made it even more nerve-wracking is the stand that I brought this giant keyboard on was about to collapse because as the stagehands are bringing it out to center court, and I'm going first, by the way, which makes it even worse. And they're bringing out the stand, and it has these like kind of table legs, and one of them was bent in.
Oh no.
And so I just saw we were seconds away from that whole thing going down, like, you know, it was going to be so bad. And so one of the people working the event, she could tell like what was happening, and she beckons me to run out to center stage. So I sprinted in these like Chelsea boots that I'm wearing all the way out to center stage, like skirt, like slide into place, yank the stand back into place. And then I go back. I make it so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to the baseline to wait for me to be called on. And she's like, no. Like, you got to stay and sit and play. You're out of time. So I yank it into place. The next thing is my ass is on that piano bench, and she's just going 3, 2, 1. You're on. So that was like truly. I think it took
Clutch
years
time.
off my life. Yeah, clutch time. Yeah. Move over, Jalen. We got a new Captain Clutch over here.
Yeah, right. Man, that's just so cool, though. Could you sense people in the could you like spot people in the crowd who are like, oh yeah, this is cool?
You can't see anything while you're playing because
Sure.
the lights are blinding, and you know I'm also just looking at that keyboard like, please, if there is a God, do not let me fuck this up. But once I was done, I went back through the tunnel, and this guy who's sitting right there, he's like, "You were amazing too. I'm voting for you. I'm voting for you." And I was like, hell yeah. That's how I know I did something right.
Awesome. That's great, man. So is there any any word, and if you're coming back again?
Well, so I mean, to cut to the chase, I lost. I did not make it to the next round. That's okay. You know, it's a audience vote. There's really no control over it. Like, you just hope that you do well enough to sway the audience. And, you know, right. I thought I did like really very close to what my personal best would be. So I'm content with that, because you only can control what you can control, you know?
Yeah.
But
that's all you can ask for.
All you can ask for, yeah. So I'm just honored that I got to do it. And, you know, hopefully it won't be my last time in the Garden. I feel like I made, you know, like actual friends with the people who work there. Like, I feel really good about the people I met. And, you know, hopefully if the stars align, you know, down the road, maybe I'll be back for something. But, you know, just to be a Knicks fan and to like have my feet on center court at that logo and do what I do in life, which is to play music. I mean, that's a dream come true.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I mean, like, it's, you know, have something musically related involved directly with like your favorite team. It's like something I would love to do as well. You know, like, I would love to, in an official capacity, partner with the Bulls, you know, like to do something for indie basketball with the Bulls. Like, obviously that's like my dream. So like, I think, you know, the fact that you were able to do that is super cool, and definitely something you'll remember forever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're on your way. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the next thing I see is like Kobe White's joining the podcast, going to talk, you know, going to talk Bulls with you.
I think we gotta find a way to get, you know, Jeff Tweedy at the United Center doing a half court session. You know,
now we're talking. Now we're talking. Yeah, Chicago's greatest. So I mean, that's
right.
That would be so cool for you to do something like that. And I mean, for me, it's like, even if I never get to do anything like that again, but even if I never get to do anything like that again, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's so awesome. You know, and I'm sure, you know, growing up a Knicks fan, and like, I'm curious, in addition to that, like, the New York scene for music is very diverse. It's very, you know, kind of sprawling. And like, how do you find your way as an up and coming artist in New York?
Well, I think in a lot of ways the New York music scene never really moved past like the 90s Knicks mentality, which is like kind of a DIY, you know, mindset of, you know, we're all going to like, you know, do it ourselves, work together as a community. But it's very different from LA, I feel.
Sure.
Because in LA, I feel like everyone's doing sessions with each other, and it's like, it's just a constant rotating cast of people doing sessions. And I feel like in New York, everyone's kind of grinding on their own projects a lot.
Yeah.
And out of that comes such amazing music, though, because New York is, you know, it's a rat eat rat city. You know, it's you know, rent is high. Hopefully, you know, not any longer under Zoran, but you know, gotta love that. But it's just, I think like part of I think the socioeconomics of New York influenced the music scene directly, because like in LA, you can have a studio in your house. You can afford to have a place that has more space. But in New York, it's not possible. So everyone's working in their own bedroom setups. And I have the luxury of working with like one of my best friends, Ian Bakerman, who is not a Knicks fan. He's a Spurs fan. He's like a Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan fan.
It's a good time for him. Also.
It's a great time for him. Oh, my God. I did get the last laugh at the NBA Cup game, but it is a great time for him. But yeah, so he has a space, and we make a lot of music there. It's a beautiful little studio. And I think like New York is all about these pockets of creativity, and you know, it's a very, very small town at the end of the day too, because you always know someone who knows someone, and all of a sudden you're like, that circle has now been, connected. And I think this is a time of a lot of growth right now, I think, in the New York music scene.
Sure, and I feel like I do see a lot of similarities in how Chicago's music scene is, and it does seem like in both cities, people find their like kind of like circles and their groups. Not that it's like cliquey, but it's like you find people, you build your relationships, and it's just like there's all these series of overlapping circles of musicians, and they sprawl out into different genres, but like when I think of New York musicians, that you got Big Thief and Pale Hound, and they're like kind of like buddies, and then like there's adjacent circles where like maybe some people don't interact with each other, but like there's like friends of a friend to a friend, like you said.
Absolutely. And speaking of friends of a friend, Pale Hound, Al Kempner and I were actually in a band together in high school.
Amazing.
It was very, very short-lived.
Al was on the podcast a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta watch the episode.
They were on raving about the Knicks. They even have like they have the Pale Hound T-shirt that's like looks like the Knicks logo.
Oh my God, that's amazing! I gotta cop one. But yeah, Al and we were in a band in high school, and it was kind of crazy because they were practicing their own Pale Hound material before rehearsal. And then we would rehearse the music that I would write. That was way worse, like objectively worse. But meanwhile, Pale Hound was being born in real time, Yeah. But yeah, it's a very small city, and I'm very lucky to be working with, different artists who are super, super talented. So, aside from having my own project, I write and produce with other people. So,
awesome.
Yeah, so there's just such unbelievable talent in New York right now.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of that talent. I think one thing that we wanted to do coming onto this is, what are some New York artists who are maybe up and coming, who think more people should know? We don't need to talk about Geese. Everyone knows them right now.
I don't think you can call them up and coming anymore.
No, I don't think so. Maybe you can still get away with it 6 months ago, but even then, I think it's pretty fringe. But there's plenty more people. There's always people on the rise. So we put together a couple. I also kind of gathered a few that I listen to that I think deserve more attention. So why don't we just ping pong back and forth? Let's share kind of an artist and kind of what you love about them. And why don't you go first with an artist from New York?
Okay, sounds great. I think one of them that comes to mind is Morning Silk. So it's my friend Frank's project, and he put out this song called Nightlife that did really well, and I was lucky enough to have worked on it with him. And it's it's performed really well on DSPs, and it landed him a record deal with Network Music Group. And
oh, wow.
I feel like Morning Silk is a name that people are going to start hearing, hopefully, knock on wood, a lot more, in the next, several months to a year as he starts to put out new music. But just like really great. He's beyond just being like a great guy. He's just like such a music savant, and the way that he thinks about music is so refreshing to me because he's so articulate about what he's going for. And sure. It makes it so much fun to work with him because I feel like, we can just kind of have that mind meld of, oh, I know exactly what it is that you're trying to put out. And he's an amazing, also great live set. So if you're ever, wanting to catch a show, he plays a lot of shows, and, his band is extremely tight. So
yeah, I took a listen because when the artists you shared, I'd heard half of them, the other two I hadn't heard. So this is definitely like a very electronic poppy sound. It kind of has that Tame Impala vibe a little bit at times, especially in the vocals, that dreamy quality. But yeah, I feel like he kind of shares an adjacent lane with kind of where your music goes a little bit too.
Oh yeah, cool. I mean, I definitely hear the Tame Impala thing. and he's just he's a great songwriter, and the new project that he's working on, I think, is a really, it's like a cut above everything I've heard from him so far, and I'm just excited for the rest of the world to hear it.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see if you'll know any of the people that I will call about. But the first person I want to mention is, I think they're also signed to Network, and it's Glom. I don't know if you've ever listened to Glom.
I love Glom.
Yeah,
I love Glom.
So good, like such a riff king. I like so good at making those really like hooky, noodly guitar riffs. And his new album comes out, I think, this Friday actually. And super stoked for it. And it's definitely kind of got this like a little bit of that Real Estate kind of sound. I think it's like, I don't know. It's super hooky. It's super like kind of jangly, and I hate using the word jangly, but it is, and it's good.
It's guitar music for people who love guitar music. I think he's such a great, like you say, like a great hook writer on guitars. I think like for people who love that riff driven music, it's hard to find someone who's doing it better right now. And I'm also, it's just so nice to, we're talking about like the New York music scene and how small it is. It's so funny you mention them, because Jordan, who drums in Glom, plays drums with me and played drums for my album release show at Public Records. So it is really... are you sure you didn't like plan that ahead of time?
No, absolutely not.
That's crazy.
That's what happens, right? I feel like if good musicians know good musicians, and that's what happens.
Well, thank you for lumping me in with that. But Glom is great, and that record's gonna be awesome
for sure. All right, who's your second one?
Second one, let's go with so one of the best New York bands of the past several years, in my opinion, is Michelle, and they recently split up. And I'm friends with a bunch of the people in the band, and they're all like truly not only just extraordinary people, but like crazily extraordinary musicians, to the point where it's terrifying. Like, they're all amazing songwriters, and I think like, while it's still sad that they split up, I think that there's a lot to look forward to with all of their personal endeavors. So two of the people on my list are from Michelle originally. So
great.
I don't know if that's cheating by having two from the same band, but the first one that I wanted to shout out is Sophia D'Angelo. And Sophia is just like a songwriting tour de force, and also an amazing singer and guitar player. She actually was playing guitar in Pink Pantheress's Tiny Desk video. She's like all the way on the left side of the screen. Should have put her more front and center, but but
I think,
she's
she'll
amazing.
Get her own someday, maybe.
Hey, hopefully. I mean, if I'm shouting her out on indie basketball, anything is possible. So she's just an amazingly talented individual, and I think more people should be listening to her solo work, because I don't know if all of the Michelle fans have, like SpongeBob, like taken Bikini Bottom and moved it over there. Like, I want everyone who's like a Michelle fan to like listen to her stuff.
Sure. Yeah, I totally get that. That's how I feel with like Twin Peaks. I'm like, I love Twin Peaks so much, but I want everyone to also listen to the projects that came out of Twin Peaks. Because there's Hazel City, which is new, and that's really good, and there's so many artists that come out of that. But I listen to Sophia, and I listen to the song "The Fall" in particular, and it's really, like you said, it's a very pleasant singer-songwriter sound. It kind of has like a 90s nostalgic, like girly pop sound a little bit.
Very much so. And she is like she's like a 90s pop star who like happens to be living like right now.
Totally. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. She does these really cool like songwriting circles at Ray's in the East Village or Lower East Side, and so in these songwriting circles, it's cool because it's like a very Nashville style thing, but I don't really know of anything else in New York that's quite like that.
Sure.
And so she hosts these circles, and it's really great to hear. There's a lot of really talented songwriters that have come through there. Like the one I went to, John Roseborough was there. I don't know if you're familiar with his music.
I'm not.
Unbelievably talented. Oh my God. Like the whole room just went silent.
Yeah.
But, and then she's performing, and I'm like, her stuff is right up there with everyone else's. It's just like unbelievably talented songwriting. And, it's cool to see that as a songwriter myself, like just to appreciate the craft of it.
Sure. Yeah, she's really good. I'm really curious if you're gonna know everyone that I'm gonna mention. I feel like you will. There's a world in which I definitely don't. So but lay it on me. I'm really curious to hear. The second person, you mentioned the kind of songwriting circles, and that's someone who I know has done something like this. I don't know if it was this one, and that's Sean McVeary. He's super hooky pop music. It's honestly like it's the sort of thing that if you listen to it, you're like, how is this person not like on the radio? How is this not like topping charts? Like, how does everyone not know them? Because it sounds like other contemporaries, like in the pop realm, like this should be on that level. And the album he put out last year was called Steve. And it was really, really good. They're on Better Company Records, which is the label started by San Fermin.
Oh, cool.
And it's really good. I highly recommend if you haven't listened to it.
I haven't heard of him, and I'm sad I haven't because it sounds like it's amazing.
Yeah, he did. He created the album Steve out of kind of like, it was like a songwriting retreat where you're kind of like forced to write music for like, a week straight, when you can't leave pretty much. And it came out of that, and it's a really, really good album. So that made my year-end list. I think it was top 15 or something like that. It's a great album.
Nice. I'll definitely check it out.
So why don't you hit me with your third?
Okay, my third. Let's go back to our talk about, immortal guitar riffs. Like we were talking about Glom in terms of like riffs that are just so infectious. I feel like you got to mention the extremely viral guitar riff by Hudson Freeman, who is, really on top of the world right now, it seems. I mean, if you have John Mayer playing your riff, like
totally
as a guitar player, I don't know if it gets much better than that. Like, it's unbelievable.
Right. He's huge. TikTok has really blown him up, and honestly for good reason. Like he has that really authentic folk sound, and I feel like he seems like really humble too. He just seems like a good dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something to be said of like how much relief it brings me, at least, to see that someone can just organically blow up.
Yeah.
And, it's not like RCA has put $1 million behind him before he ever put out. It's like not an industry plant, genuinely just a musician, like making music. And it's cool to see that, the possibilities are there for artists to, blow up.
Sure.
Still, in such a meteoric way. Because
right.
I feel like, during the pandemic, like when people were posting to TikTok, it was like, it seemed like every other day there was a new viral artist that was getting snatched up by some major label. And I feel like now we're kind of in a post that world. So no one really seems to know what they're doing. And we're all kind of just throwing paint at the wall and, seeing what sticks. And, but to watch that happen, I was, very happy for him. And, I had the pleasure of meeting someone who plays with him, and I feel like that whole circle is just great people, and I'm just really happy for him.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does next. My third one is actually someone who I only discovered because they followed me, and her name is Avery Friedman. She is this kind of, I'd say it's kind of straight in the indie singer songwriter vibe. It's really pleasant down tempo music. If I don't know if you're a fan of like Katie Kirby, it definitely sounds like that realm a lot. Could very easily fit on a bill with like a Big Thief, like you mentioned, or someone like that. But yeah, it's really good, and she released an album last year. But she seems like she's just getting started, and I've really enjoyed the kind of few listens through I've had of that album.
Nice. I'd love to listen to that. It sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, Katie Kirby is definitely the first kind of thing that came to mind for me there.
Hell yeah. So my last one that I have is the Booyah Kids, which like that's the first one that came to mind for me as well, because Julian in the band and I, we actually used to be roommates in Bushwick. So
Cool.
it's kind of like cheating to mention them, but the the band is ex Michelle members as well. So it's Julian and Emma from Michelle with Aiden, and like truly just three incredible people, incredible musicians. Julian last minute got a ticket to the Knicks game that I was the first time that I sang. Like he texted me. He was like, "Hey, like I heard you're doing this," and I was like, I wasn't really on my phone because I was just running around getting ready. Like I wasn't responding to anyone. And the next thing I check my phone, he's like, "Oh, I got a ticket. I'm in like the 200 level." I'm like, what an amazing friend to like just go out, buy a ticket, like come support me and vote for me like that. Like it was really sweet of him. And
It's awesome.
but their music is amazing. They've been putting out a lot of new stuff, and I'm super honored to have like worked with them on some material that still has not come out yet, and I don't know if it ever will, but it doesn't matter because it was just so much fun to work on it with them. And Aiden in the band, he's also wrote some songs with me from my album. So you know, again, one of those examples of like, you know, New York is a really small town.
Sure.
But they're like, I think, you know, if you like kind of synth driven, kind of twee sounding in a way, like indie pop, they are a band that, you know, are worth checking out for sure.
Yeah, I had them on a recent playlist, and it seems like they've been putting out music for a good amount of time already at this point. And the early stuff, it sounds definitely in that like kind of twee indie pop realm, like almost like even like Mates Estate a little bit, like in that direction. But more recent stuff I was listening to, it kind of is in more of the pop side. It sounds like kind of like that. I never know how to say her name, but Bia Badoobie. That's kind of what it sounds like to me a little bit, and it's really good. It's indie pop for sure.
Yeah, I guess I would consider Biba Doobie twee in my book as well.
Totally.
There's definitely like, you know, I love that you're picking up on like the pop side of it, because it's like it's almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing where it like sounds really cute, and then underneath it is like just a fucking tour de force pop song.
Like there's great vocals in there. Yeah,
it's great. I mean, Emma's an amazing singer, amazing songwriter, also an amazing dancer. She does like really cool like experimental dance performances,
cool.
which is pretty impressive. But yeah, that's a group that I think really has it all, and I feel like they've just been, you know, consistently putting out music for the first time in a while, and it's refreshing to see that. And I hope something, you know, blows up with them.
Yeah, awesome. The last one for me is actually a former podcast guest, and I feel like they are somewhat established at this point, and it's Toledo. They've put out several singles, several EPs, but I feel like I'm still waiting for like a solid full length from them. And I haven't. When he was on the podcast, he was talking about how he's like that's his goal, to try and get an actual full length, because they've been doing a lot of EPs. But the music is so good. It's definitely kind of like that indie folksy sound. It's kind of like in the Howdy realm a little bit, and Runner and artists like that, which is definitely like a zone that I'm really gravitating towards lately. And I think as twang has infiltrated indie rock a lot, I don't think it's heavy on twang, but it's definitely kind of adjacent to that realm. It's really good.
Yeah, I love Toledo. I had the pleasure of seeing them at Elsewhere Hall. I think it was in the spring.
Yeah.
And got to meet them afterwards, and just great live set, just super tight. And again, like that songwriting is just at the core of it is just like really, really strong. And I think it's really cool too that they do kind of a similar thing to what I do, which is to write and produce with a lot of different artists. And I feel like, especially in New York right now, you look at an artist and you're like, oh, that sounds really good. And then you look at the song credits on Spotify and Toledo had something to do with it. You're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think they got to open for Spoon this year too, which is like awesome. Like they've had their, I feel like it's a matter of time. Like they put out a solid release, so I think it's really going to pick up.
Yeah. Actually, I do have one more that just came to mind, if I can share. Which is they worked with Toledo on their most recent EP, which is Fetch Tiger. And they're a fantastic band, twangy, kind of Fleet Foxes adjacent in a way, but less flannel and beard and more like, how do I describe it? Like more, they don't live in the mountains. They live in Brooklyn, and they're aware of that. They're not trying to live in the mountains. They're okay with living in Brooklyn. So it doesn't feel like they're trying to be something they're not, but it's like just the harmonies are great. The songwriting's great. The sound is great. So yeah, Fetch Tiger. That's my last one that I got.
All right. A slew of great New York artists for everyone to check out. And yeah, I think there's a lot of range in these picks as well, and some good stuff. So there's a great New York scene. There's always new artists popping up. But why don't we shift gears to some basketball? Let's keep the New York vibe going and talk about your Knicks, because I mean the first thing I think we can talk about is just the other day James Dolan said that you guys got a championship team right here. You don't need anything else.
That is the silver lining to what is currently happening, which is like a catastrophic collapse. So I was, it was unfortunate that one of the games that I got to go to was just this crushing defeat against the Hawks. And I got to see a very frustrated Jalen Brunson. Fourth quarter, there's really no game left. Dives for the loose ball. Onyeka Okongwu, does like a John Cena, wrestling move, jumps on top of him, puts him in a headlock. And I'm sitting right there. Like I was at section 110. I'm like, I got a perfect view of it. Like literally put him in a headlock. The whole crowd is going crazy. Jump ball. So I think what we're witnessing with the Knicks right now is just frustration. I think it's frustration with the calls. I think there's frustration with how they're being utilized, like thinking about how Cat is still kind of saying, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing in Mike Brown's system. I mean, he's not taking 10 threes a game. He should be taking 10 threes a game. He's Karl Anthony Towns. He's self-proclaimed the best shooting big man. But,
I you know what? I think there's validity to that statement, though.
What? Which
him
which
being
statement?
the best 3-point shooting big man.
Okay, 3-point shooting big, but he says the best shooting big man. I like you can't say he's better than
like
Dirk.
top 5 in threes for a big.
I think so, but I would still say as like just a shooter, pure shooter, you got to go Dirk.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, he's what, 6th
Dirk
all time in scoring?
He was very rarely a center. So I feel like Cat is a pure center, and that's why I delineate that, but maybe that's not.
That's true. He was a 7-footer, though. He's I guess, because then it's like, where do you draw the line? I mean, he's a 7-footer. He did have Tyson Chandler with him for all those years, but holding it down in the paint. But yeah, Cat, great shooter. When I was at the Hawks game, he was warming up, and I'm telling you, he didn't miss a single shot. He was taking logo threes, like, and it was just bottom of the net, and then he didn't play. And they say it was because of a stomach sickness.
Sure.
But he looked great. So, like, he was draining these shots. He didn't play. The Knicks get blown out by the Hawks. I'm like, something is afoot in the Mecca. You know, it really makes you think. I don't want to start any conspiracy theories, but it does make you think.
Why are people never satisfied with Cat? Like, why can't he ever be enough for any team?
You know, I don't know if this is a Cat thing or a New York thing, because as a you know, a lifelong Knicks fan, we cannibalize our stars. We turn on them. We turned on Melo.
Yes.
We turned on Randall. You know, we are the harshest critics of our stars. And Cat, unfortunately, you know, Jalen, I don't think anyone could ever say a bad thing about Jalen Brunson. If they do, you know, find me and I will fight you.
He hasn't done, you know, he could do one thing and then you'll latch on.
Maybe, but he did also leave $100 million on the table. So as far as I'm concerned, that he gets a free pass from me.
Sure.
But you know, I think Cat. I think it's hard because New York has a history of amazing big men. You got Willis Reed, you had Patrick Ewing, fierce competitors like Oakley, and Cat is fierce. He does have that fierceness, but he can sometimes, you know, play maybe a little bit out of control, get into foul trouble, you know, not necessarily make the best decisions. And then playing in New York, you got that microscope on you. So that just gets blown up out of proportion. I feel for him. I think he's an amazing player, and I would love to see him continue to be a Knick and to, you know, bring home a championship for us someday. But, you know, I really love Cat as a player. I love the Isuzu Trooper that he just got from his. I guess he just proposed to Jordan. But yeah, I mean, like that. Like, he's just I just think he's like a great player. I can understand his frustration about not being utilized the right way.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I guess do you agree with Dolan? Do you think you got the pieces? Do you think a trade needs to be happening? Because obviously you're not going to like go for a Giannis or a Trae Young, or you would never go for Trae Young anyways. Let's be real. Like, Trae Young can't play for the Knicks.
Oh my God. You're telling me that the self-proclaimed king of New York, when he threw the dice down on the Garden floor, that guy, I swear to God, I think there would be no more hated Knick in all of franchise history than Trae Young. No, I hope he goes to the Wizards and just rots there. But
he will. I think he will.
That's what'll happen. And, you know, whatever hair implants he got, you know, I think he's got to take a closer look at those. But
I mean, dude, if he goes to the Wizards and they somehow are able to keep that pick and whatever it ends up being, if it's AJ DiPonzo, like, do they have a solid young core with him and some of the young team? I
mean, Alex Sarr, he's good.
He's decent.
We don't know how good he's going to be. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think he should have been the first pick over Zachary Rizachet. And then you'll be pairing Trae with the actual, you know, should have been first pick. But I don't really care what happens to Trae. I mean, I swear to God, I just don't like him at all. I think he's got he has poor sportsmanship, which you know, I sound like a salty Knicks fan, and that's probably because I am one. But yeah, no, I think the current roster, you know, for all of the major pieces of it, I think it's correct. Please do not trade Josh Hart. I mean, you're just getting like such good value even on the contract for how hard he works out there.
Sure.
I think Josh is great. I think Mikhail is great. I think OG is great. I think, you know, obviously Towns and Brunson. I don't change any of that. I think beyond those guys, I hope Mitchell Robinson stays. I mean, this is the last year of his contract, and you know, he's been there through all of the ups and downs. He's the longest tenured Knick, and you know, I hope he stays because I think he's, you know, a really unique, an amazing offensive rebounder, and it really unlocks our whole offense. But I think for I also would love to keep Kolek, but I think for the the Gershon Yabuseles of the world, those guys we can maybe. I'd love to see us turn that into like a Daniel Gafford type player, someone who's going to be like a backup big. Yeah. Just give us like a backup big who can play 15 minutes a game, grab a few boards, throw Trae Young on the ground, and then foul out and put Cat back in.
Sure. Yeah, you definitely need another big especially because Mitch has been hurt, and you need kind of that backup arsenal to fill in the big spot. Especially if Cat's stretching the floor, you need some more strength.
Yeah, and I think it also we currently our best double big lineup is with Cat and Robinson. Cat's at the 4, Robinson's at the 5. But if we had another center where you could just say, okay, let's just try, Cat and Gafford, for example. If you're making a deep playoff run, just being able to throw something different out on the floor is going to be extremely helpful.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's not too far gone. It's just a little slump, I think you guys
look,
be
the
right.
Thunder are what 6-6 in their last 12, and
that's
lost
what
to
I'm
the
Hornets. They started off as maybe I actually said recently on the podcast I praised the Thunder, and I'm like could they break the record for single season wins? And then they lost 3 to the Spurs, and they lost 6 more games, so including one to the Hornets the other day.
Yeah, by 27 points.
Yeah, that's tough. So it's hard to know where we stand with the top teams, because the top teams are being hit right now.
Nuggets are down a lot of players, but
Nuggets are down their entire roster. I believe the injury report the other day had Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown. Like the entire team is out.
The whole squad. Yeah, and I think that's with a depleted roster, but the Thunder I think had everyone, and they still lost to the Hornets by 27 points. So
that's wild.
I wonder if what we're seeing is kind of like, I think the NBA has made a push to be more physical in the regular season. I think more physical across the board, and I wonder if people are getting injured and are getting tired, beat up out there. I wonder if we're seeing some of that.
I also, I don't want you to take any offense by this, but if there's a correlation between the Knicks slumping and the Thunder slumping, are we not getting those foul calls at the line anymore?
I mean, okay, if you're trying to say that Jalen Brunson is a free throw merchant, okay, well, who are the top 10 free throw attempted players in the NBA? Who are the top 10?
I don't have that with me right now. Do you?
You got to come prepared for this. Come on, you got. This is your podcast. You got to have these stats. Okay, so I think number 1 is Denny Avdia. I think Shea's number
definitely.
2. I can't remember everyone on the list, but some notable exclusions from the top 10 is there's not a single Knick on that list, including Jalen Brunson.
You are. I'm looking at a list right now. Let's take a look in real time. Top 10 in free throw attempts. So actually, number 1 is Luka.
Okay, I was seeing a different list.
I'm seeing free throw. Luka's averaging 12 free throw attempts.
Okay, I got NBA Central,
wild.
not Centel, but Central, on January 4th. So it's got Denny, followed by Shea, followed by Luka, Harden, Booker, Butler, Keontae George, Jaylen Brown, Jokic, and then Randall. But
interesting.
No Brunson.
ESPN is a different one for me then.
Fake news.
But you know what? Either way, I think that's all right, because you think you got the closest you have for a Knick is Karl Anthony Towns. I think he's probably the highest, and he's actually significantly above Brunson, which is surprising.
So, I mean, I think this is ruining a lot of people's narratives.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But it still could be a symptom of maybe they're cracking down on free throw calls.
I mean, I think we all want to just see a consistent game, right? Whatever you're going to call. I mean, for me, I don't want to see any touch fouls. Like, I don't care if it's for Brunson. I don't care who it's for. Just no touch fouls. But, not to summon Doris Burke to the chat, but, marginal contact. I think we just really should not see touch fouls. And I just want to be consistent. Like, both sides of the floor, call it the same way, because I sometimes find myself watching these games, and by the end of the game, I'm like, I really don't know what is a foul anymore.
Right. Yeah. So I guess coming out of that is, do you still think a Knicks Thunder championship is a realistic thing you could see?
I mean, certainly it's a realistic thing. I right now we're in the doldrums of the season. I think let's see what happens come April, but I think the Knicks squad has what it takes to compete at the highest level, and I would love to see a Knicks Thunder finals. I would prefer to see a Knicks Spurs finals because I know we can actually beat them. But can't say the same about the Thunder.
That would be just honestly, for the sake of things, would be a great story to the season.
It would be
because Wemby's going to come with like a little more of that drive. Like, we're not going to get burned again. I would love to see that.
It's almost like we'd almost have like a triangle format of like Thunder. It's like rock, paper, scissors. Like, Thunder beat Knicks, but Knicks beat Spurs, Spurs beat Thunder. Like if the Spurs and the Knicks come out on top, I mean, I will, regardless of what is going to happen, I'm going to be shouting myself hoarse at the New York City sports bars, and just having the time of my life if the Knicks make it that far. So,
and with Wemby too, I mean, I could see him in like a top 3 MVP voting, not especially because Jokic's injury could remove him from that contention.
What do you think of the 65 game rule?
I think it's lame that you have to enforce a number, because realistically the amount of missed games should impact the voting itself. Like, I would not be giving votes to someone who missed 20 games of the season.
Right.
Like, you should not be the most valuable player if you have to miss that much time.
Right. I think that makes sense. And I feel the same way. It sucks when, someone like Jokic goes down and you're like, damn, what's the amount he's going to miss that cutoff is very small.
I think, he would come back potentially like at the line. He would have to miss like no games.
Right.
After that, which is unrealistic.
It is very unrealistic. But
that's what it is.
I mean, hey, Mikal Bridges can do it. Hasn't missed a game in like 850, whatever it is. Like,
he's the Cal Ripken Jr. of the NBA. It's wild.
It's unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. Although I will say, when I was watching him warm up the other day, I think he might be nursing some sort of shoulder injury, because his form looked off. Very insider information. You're hearing it here at the end of the podcast. I mean, this is, if you've made it this far,
if you remember,
we're going to give you the real stuff.
The preseason, his shot looked very off for a good chunk of time.
Yeah, he has. They say it's like a hitch, right, in his shot, and so he was doing it again in warmups. And what it is, it's like he brings the ball out and has like a little stutter to like the upwards motion, and then kind of brings it up and back. It's not like a clean form, and he was shooting that way. So
it's not a Lonzo shot by any means, but
no. I mean, it's not like, we're not talking about like Kevin Martin over here, but it's
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist,
Sean Marion,
some of the ugliest shots in the game.
Yeah, joking Noah.
Yeah. Well, I have nothing against the Knicks, so I hope you guys kind of pull it out. I would not mind to see a Knicks championship. I can't be against that. If the Bulls can't do it, and they certainly won't. So
hey, you guys had a hot start. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was just gonna say, like, you guys had a hot start.
Don't be fooled. We know. I know better. I know better than to know what this team is and to see how they actually perform.
How do you feel about Matas Buzelis?
Love him. He's the only guy on the team that I'm like, yes, keep him. I mean, Kobe's great, but I'm okay to if we have to get rid of him to further the team.
I feel like
Ayo's great too.
Josh Giddey. I mean, Giddey's playing out of his mind.
He's very inconsistent, but he is when he's good, he's good.
Yeah, I feel like he's a perennial Knicks.
I need
killer.
Vooch out. Yeah. Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Why? What's
Vooch
going
is
on with
another
that?
guy he's been, he'll have his moments where he'll drop you at 25 and 12, which is great. And he has been very clutch this year. He's had some game winners this year, which have been great. But in general, I think is it time to move on? Like the consistency with this entire team is really tough. And even Buzelis, who's exciting to watch, he doesn't produce that high yet. He's not scoring 20, 23 a game or anything like that. So there's definitely some room for improvement there.
Yeah, I'll definitely next time I watch, I'm gonna pay attention to that. I feel like Vucevic kills the Knicks every time, and he's got I'm talking about like great shooting big men. I mean, he's got an amazing shot. I do think on defense he sometimes leaves a little bit to be desired for you guys.
Yeah.
I wonder if you played him at like the 4, if you had like a double big lineup, what that would look like for you guys.
Potentially, yeah. If we had someone there, I mean, I think there's some serious restructuring needs to happen for that team. I think we've been making too minimal moves too many years in a row. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. I mean, you guys have a bright future, though.
Yeah, I love watching Buzelis play. They're young and they're fun. So let's see where they go next, whether they trade or whether they draft or what is. But dude, thank you again for coming on the podcast. It's been great talking all things New York with you.
Hey, my pleasure. It was super fun. So much fun to be here. And we're definitely gonna have to talk more basketball. And if you're in New York, hit me up. Let's go catch a game. I can't promise I can bring you courtside onto center court, but I'll try my best.
You better introduce me to Ben Stiller, your pal.
Hey Ben, yeah, you remember me from like the Marty Supreme premiere?
Is there anywhere people can catch you outside of Madison Square Garden coming up?
Yes. You don't have to spend $250 on a ticket to see me perform for a minute. I play all around New York. Most recently, I played at Baby's All Right. I think I mentioned before that my album release show was at Public Records. So I'm usually playing venues that are like 200 people, not 20,000 people. If you follow me on Instagram, I post all the upcoming shows there. And now that I have this MSG thing in the rearview mirror, I'm going to, go back to releasing some more music and, kind of announcing what like the next steps are going to be for me. But I have a lot of really good music in the works right now that I'm really excited about. So 2026 is looking like it's going to be a crazy year.
Awesome. Yeah. Love to hear it. Thanks again for joining. Everyone check out Harrison Lipton on all the digital streaming platforms or buy the music. You could do that too.
That
works. That's a thing.
I printed my most recent album on vinyl, and I can show you if you want me to grab. It's literally sitting right behind me.
Show it.
Okay. I feel like I needed like the tearaway track pants for that, but here we have it. It's called Between Us There Runs a Tether. Got this nice little rear cover. But yeah, so I have copies of this, and if you buy one and you let me know that you found this through the podcast, I'll send you an extra little something as a token of my appreciation.
Bam. There you go. Get after it. Well, thanks again for listening. Thanks again for joining the podcast. Everyone who's listening, you know where to follow us. We're on Instagram, YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're at Indie Basketball. join our Discord, join the conversation. It's a fun time to talk. Harrison, you should get in there too. It's a good time in that Discord channel.
I will be there.
And then, everyone else, we would love your support on Patreon. It helps us make more half-court sessions and more merch. If you want to support Indie Basketball, we're at patreon.com/indiebasketball. But thanks again for listening, and we will check you next time.